Human beings can only memorize 1 or 2 new things at a time. That means that when we are learning math facts, we should only practice 1 or 2 that we don't already know at any given time. It's fine to mix in math facts that are already fluent, but math facts that we haven't learned yet should be left out entirely. The new facts need to be practiced until they are fluent before any other new facts are introduced. When a student becomes fluent in one math fact, then there is room for a new one to be introduced. In this way, a student can eventually learn all of the math facts. On the other hand, a student who is asked to memorize many math facts at once generally will not succeed in memorizing any of them. If you apply the commutative property to multiplication facts, meaning that 5 times 3 is counted as the same math fact as 3 times 5, then there are 91 multiplication facts. That is far too many to give a student at one time. A math fact worksheet with 30 problems is too many. Even giving a student an assignment to practice all of the times 3s is 13 new math facts at one time, which is still too many. Unfortunately, introducing 1 or 2 new math facts per day is still too many, because we don't always remember something we memorized yesterday. If a student learned 7 times 8 yesterday, we need to make sure they can still answer automatically on that math fact today before we introduce a new one. If they can't answer automatically, then 7 times 8 needs to be the math fact they practice again today. They might need to practice it again tomorrow and the day after that. And if they do need to, then we need to let them do so without adding any new math facts during that time. Because if we do keep adding math facts before they are fluent in the ones they're working on, then we undermine their ability to succeed with any of them. So what do we do with math facts that the student hasn't learned yet? Nothing. We may discuss them in the context of conceptual understanding, but in our fluency practice, we don't mention an unlearned fact at all until it is time for the student to focus on that fact as their new fact. This means that some math facts will wait months before the student ever practices them. And this may feel a little uncomfortable to you as a teacher. Keep in mind, though, that daily practice using good strategies will allow your students to become fluent in all of their math facts eventually. And that this is much better than never, which is what we get when we try to do too much all at once. If we give a classroom full of students the same math facts to learn in the same order, the amount of time needed to learn any given math fact is going to differ between students. Only the students who have developed fluency on the first math fact should move on to another one. Because of this, it is essential that fact practice be adapted to each student and that each student be allowed to work at their own pace in order to focus on the math facts that are in progress for that student. I mentioned in the last video that it's important to reduce the amount of frustration that students experience as they go about the difficult task of memorizing math facts. And so I want to point out that giving them a reasonable number of new things to memorize is a significant factor in limiting frustration.